Hello, class. Last week we talked about, we learned our first 26 phonograms the first week. And then last week we were doing some testing, and that was very exciting. But on Friday, we learned about different kinds of letters. So our first 26 phonograms can be split up into two different kinds of letters. All right, one of those, there is something blocking the sound, like in t or b or qu. Class, what is the name of a letter where something blocks the sound, like in t or s, z? Excellent, we call that a consonant. And what do we call a kind of letter where our mouth is open and there's nothing blocking the sound, like a, ah, and u, u. What do we call that? Excellent, we call that a vowel. And remember, those are the sounds that we can sing on. We can't sing a t, but we can sing oh. All right, great. So vowels and consonants. And now we're going to talk about, because most of our consonants make how many sounds? You're right, most of our consonants make only one sound. There are only 3 consonants that make more than one sound, more than one consonant sound. So if you remember the first one, the first consonant that makes more than one sound, tell me what it is. Good, it's k, s. So our k, s makes more than one sound, but there's a rule that tells us when this is going to make its second sound. When we're going through the alphabet, what is our next consonant that makes more than one sound? All right, good. It's g, j. And there's also a rule that helps us know when this says its second sound. Remember, all of our phonograms say their first sound more often. So that's what we go to usually. All right, and our last consonant that makes more than one sound, what is that? Good, it's s, z. All right. So these are the only 3 consonants that make more than one sound. Everything else has only how many sounds? Right, good, just one. So that's why consonants are pretty nice, because they're more straightforward. And we want to talk about our vowels a little bit more. So in the last lesson, we started this chart, but I filmed that last week. It's Saturday now. And somebody came in and erased my chart. And at first I was a little bit cranky, but then I thought that's great because this is so important. Let's go over it again. All right, so our consonants are pretty easy because most of them just have one sound, but all of our vowels have at least how many sounds? Good, 2. All of our vowels have at least 2 sounds. And if you remember, the most sounds one of our single vowels can have, tell me what that is. If you said 4, that is excellent. So one of our vowels just has 2 sounds, one has 4 sounds, and the others all have 3 sounds. So vowels, we've got to be a little bit more careful about, and we've got to make sure we're learning this, because this is going to help us know when we're reading which sound is our vowel going to make, because they all have at least 2 sounds. All right, so we had talked about closed syllables last time. Can someone tell me what closes a syllable? If you said a consonant, that means you have a great memory, all right? A consonant is what closes the syllable. So a closed syllable is any kind of a syllable or a word. Remember, some words are just one syllable and some are more. But a closed syllable is any syllable that ends with a consonant. All right. So that consonant comes in and it closes that syllable and makes the vowel say its what sound? All right, excellent work if you said its first sound. So I'm going to write in first. In a closed syllable, a single vowel says its what sound? Excellent, its first sound. All right, so one more time, class. In a closed syllable, a single vowel says its what sound? Excellent, its first sound. All right, so when we're going through the alphabet, that doesn't show up very well. I'll go ahead and write over it, but I'm sure you guys already remember it. All right, when we're going through the alphabet, what is our first vowel? Tell me all the sounds. Excellent. A, ah. All right, what's our next vowel? Good, it's e. All right, what's the next one? Tell me all the sounds. Good, I, e. And what other phonogram has the same vowel sounds as I, e? Excellent, it's ya, I, e. So since those two have the exact same vowel sounds, we always put them together. All right, and the next vowel, when we're going through our alphabet, say all the sounds for me, please. Good, ah, o, u. All right, and our last vowel. Good, u, u. That's the one that has 4 sounds. U, u. I hope that you're always writing the letters the way that I'm writing it. Some of you think that you can trick me. I can tell if you start your a-o-u at the bottom baseline. We don't start anything at the bottom baseline. All right, so work on making your letters the way I do. Remember, that helps us not get them flipped around. And also, make sure you're always saying the sounds of the phonogram while you write them, because remember, that involves more of our senses. You're moving your body, you're seeing it, you're saying it. So that gets those sounds in our brains much faster. Okay, so we've got all of our vowels here. And we're going to pause and work on some words. All right, so our smallest kind of closed syllable that we can have, can someone tell me how many letters it would be? If you said 2, that is just right, because we need a vowel in every syllable, but then for it to be a closed syllable, we have to have that consonant that comes after the vowel and closes it up. All right, so we're going to think of a 2-letter closed syllable for each of our vowels. All right, what's the first vowel we have on our chart here? Oh, you can't see that very well. Good, it's a, ah. So there's a real word that we know that uses our a, ah in a closed syllable, and it's just 2 letters. It's the word at. What's the word we're going to spell, class? Good, at. I met my friend at the park. At. What sounds do we hear in the word at? Good, it's a, t. So write those sounds and say them while you write them. All right, class, tell me what I need to write to spell at. Good, a. And good, t. I'll just go ahead and erase our consonants so we don't get mixed up over here. Okay. Now let's say our sounds. Good, right. We know it's a closed syllable because there's a consonant after it, so we're going to say the first sound. Good. At. All right, now for our et, there isn't a real word that that is a two-letter closed syllable with our et. So we're going to use a nonsense word. Let's write the nonsense word ebb. What's the word? Good, ebb. And what sounds do we hear in the word ebb? Good, it's b. So write those sounds, say them while you write them. And now tell me what I need to write to spell ebb, class. Good, F and B. All right, make sure you're starting your letters where I'm starting mine and they look like mine. Now we're going to read it. This is what kind of syllable, class? Good, it's closed. And what closes our syllable? Excellent, a consonant. So there's a consonant at the end of every closed syllable. All right, and a closed syllable means the vowel says it's what sound? Excellent, it's first. So let's say our sounds and put them together. Excellent. All right. Now our next vowel when we're going through our alphabet is it, I, E. And there are some real words that are two-letter closed syllables that use our it, I, E. So let's write the word in. What are we going to write? Good. I went in the store. In. What sounds do we hear in the word in? Good. It's I, n. All right, write those sounds. Say them while you write them. If I'm going too fast and I'm about to start the word and you're not finished, you can just pause me. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell in? Good. I, n. Very good. All right, make sure yours looks like mine. We'll say our sounds and put them together. Excellent. I, n, in. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip our yeah, it, I, e, because there aren't any words that have it. There's just no words. Even there's not even really a nonsense word that we could write for it. So right now we'll just skip that Y. The next one is o, u. So we're going to find a two-letter closed syllable word that uses our o, u. And the word that we're going to write is on. What are we going to write? Good, on. I sat on the chair. On. What sounds do we hear in the word on? Excellent, it's ah, n. All right, so write those sounds, say them while you write them. All right, class, what do I need to write to spell on? Good, ah, and good, n. Okay, make sure yours looks like mine. Right, now we'll say our sounds and put them together. Excellent. Ah, n, on. All right, we just have one more vowel that we need to find a word for, and that's our u, u. All right. Before we do that one, I know this one can be a little tricky because it has 4 sounds instead of 3, so let's just say the sounds. U, u, All right, remember that 4th sound is Okay, but in a closed syllable, our single vowel says which sound? Good, it says its first sound. So in a closed syllable, our u, u, is going to say what sound? Right, it's going to say All right, so we need a word or a 2-syllable two-letter closed syllable word. And we're going to use up. What's our word? Good. The bird flew up in the air. Up. What sounds do we hear in the word up? Good. It's a, up. Write those sounds and say them while you write them. All right. Now tell me what I need to write to spell up, class. Good. Oh my goodness. I'm writing a little bit low, so that's harder for me. I'll just bend down so I can still make it beautiful. We never want to write anything that isn't beautiful. All right, what do I need to write to spell up? Good. All right, let's say our sounds and put them together. Excellent. Up, up. Wow, so we know 4 words now that we can spell that are all real words. So that is pretty exciting. And I'm going to go ahead and put these in our chart. And then we're going to keep working on this chart throughout maybe we'll finish it today. It might take us tomorrow to get it all finished, but pretty soon we're going to have a chart all the way filled out. All right, great job, class, and go take a break, then come back for our next lesson.